mind the sound of it, because it's genuinely true. Two uniformed Met Police officers really did walk into a pub in Chiswick, West London. Only they weren't there for a pint. They weren't there because they were responding to a disturbance. They were there to, quote, have a word with a bloke called Alistair Hilton, who's a local photographer who'd been posting criticisms of a local Green Party councillor on X. Take a look at this.
Yeah, I presumed you were.
I was waiting for the police to put that on. Ultimately, it's more of a just so you're aware as opposed to a insinuation or accusation. Are you aware that if you schedule a protest outside the councilman's house, it's an offence?
I haven't scheduled.
So are you aware of that being? Yes or no?
Now, all of this apparently because Mr. Hilton had shared a post protesting the actions of a local Green councillor who had successfully campaigned to remove the outdoor seating from 3 pubs on the Thames Riverside near his home. Now, I will adopt Free Speech Union's wording on this and agree that I do not approve of intimidating public office holders at their home. However, a gathering at a pub in the vicinity of a councillor's house and standing up for your right to sit outside and enjoy a beer is not a crime. And if you like this sort of intervention and explanation of what the law says and fighting for your rights to freedom of expression and so on, I will continue that fight for you. Please do subscribe to the channel. Let's get this channel to 1 million subscribers who believe in free speech, and I will continue that fight for you. That is my commitment to you. So thank you for doing that. And so when the police arrived, they asked Mr. Hilton to step outside so they could read bits of legislation to him and warn him that if he crossed the line, then he might be committing an offence. So they started to read out to him Section 162 of the Crime and Policing Act 2026, which only came into force on the 29th of June, under which they threatened to arrest him if he crossed the line. Now, in short, this bit of legislation and this section of it says that it would be an offence for somebody to carry out a protest outside the home of someone in public office. And otherwise, as the officers were also referring to harassment or potential harassment, presumably the Protection from Harassment Act of 1997. Now, here's the bit that takes this far removed from a joke and should make your blood run cold. The police officers, if you've watched the full clip, openly admit that there's no crime being committed, no offence, nothing unlawful. They said that themselves. So why are they there? Because his posts, they say, might be considered harassment.
Just be aware, again, that your behaviour that I have seen on certain posts could, and listen to the words I'm saying to you, could be construed as harassment.
Might be considered harassment. So let's break that down, because we're not yet, I think, in the realms of thought crime, although you might be forgiven for thinking that we are. So here's exactly what happened. So Hilton had been fairly vocal on X about local councillors' decisions to remove long-standing outdoor seating from a Chiswick establishment, seating that had apparently been in place for decades, and criticised local councillors responsible, as would be his right in the exercise of the Article 10 right of the freedom of expression, particularly with regard to political criticism and the
whole crime. And a police officer walks up to him and says these words: "If you don't give me your details, I may arrest you." He doesn't, so the officer says, "You're under arrest then for public order." And then the officer says the quiet part out loud, that the arrest is necessary to ascertain your name and address. Sit with that, because it's the whole case in one sentence. He's being arrested not for a crime, but to force him to give his name. He'll be held in the back of a police car, his camera will be damaged, he'll be driven out of the city and dumped, and then released with no charge at all. No charge. So here's the question this whole video answers. If there was never a crime, what exactly was he arrested for? And watch for the one detail that gives the entire game away. I'm Edward Crane, I'm a criminal defence solicitor, 15 years in police stations and courtrooms in England and Wales, and I'm going to show you exactly where the law was crossed here, and the rights that protect you if it's ever you holding that camera.
Yeah?
How's it going?
It's alright.
Good. How's your day?
Are you here for me?
Huh?
Are you here for me?
Well, we got a call that someone was filming and you got a camera. Nice,
All right.
nice camera actually.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's DJI, the people who made the drones.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
How is it spinning on its own?
It's got the built-in...
So it begins politely, and it begins with the truth of why he's there. We've had a call, someone's filming. Let me say clearly what the law is, because everything flows from it. Filming in a public place is lawful. Filming a building, yes, even a police station, from public land is lawful. There is no law in this country against pointing a camera at a police station. So at this moment, this man has committed no offence whatsoever. Hold that, because everything the officer does next is an attempt to turn a lawful act into an arrestable one. Hostile reconnaissance.
Did you stay with him, sir?
Hello.
Hello?
The staff have informed me that you've been using a video camera to try and film into the private places of the police station.
I filmed everywhere that I can see from public, yeah.
Yeah.
I filmed through the windows.
So that's the reason why they were concerned about
Yeah.
your behaviour doing that. Some sort of hostile reconnaissance.
Alright.
Do you know what that means?
I do. Yeah, I don't need to be cops.
That's a serious phrase, and it's doing a lot of work. It's meant to make filming sound like terrorism. But let me be fair, because I'm not here to be a cheerleader. A masked man filming through the windows of a police station can look odd. It can be unsettling to the staff inside. I'll concede that completely. The officer mentions a member of staff who was distressed by it, and I don't wave that away. How a person feels is real. But here is the line the law draws, and it is a vital one. Someone's discomfort, even their genuine distress, does not by itself turn another person's lawful behaviour into a crime. If it did, any of us could be arrested the moment we made a stranger uneasy. The law asks what you did, not how it made somebody feel. So it looks a bit alarming and it's a crime are two entirely different things, and the gap between them is where your rights live. Looking unusual is not an offence.
Suddenly walk in there and film through a window,
No,
would
know.
I?
They don't know that. You've got the mask on covering your face,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
beanie on covering most, and all they can see is your eyes.
That's the
It's a bit
idea.
alarming for them. They were concerned because of the distress being there when they're trying to report something as well. I appreciate
Yeah,
you
yeah.
weren't filming her.
I know.
However, it's quite distressing for her for that to happen.
Yeah.
Do you understand that?
Sort
So
of.
your actions and the way you're
And an officer's discomfort is not a power. And there it is, the magic words. It's technically a public order offence. This is the reach, so let me hold it up to the actual law. The public order offence they're leaning on needs threatening or abusive or disorderly behaviour aimed at someone likely to be caused harassment, alarm or distress. And it comes with a built-in defence, that your conduct was reasonable. Now look at what he's actually doing. He's standing still. He's holding a camera. He isn't shouting. He isn't threatening anyone. He isn't being disorderly. Quietly filming a public building is not threatening or abusive or disorderly behaviour, and it is, by any normal measure, reasonable conduct. On these facts, there is no public order offence. There's just a lawful act that an officer has decided to relabel. And now watch the trap close, because this is the part that matters to every single person watching.
harassment and distress. Okay?
Yeah,
So that
it's-
itself is technically a public order offence.
Is it?
Which you can be arrested
Go on then.
Okay?
Do it.
Okay, I can. Not saying I want to right
You
now.
can't.
However, if you don't give me your details,
You-
I may arrest you.
I'm not giving you my details.
Okay. You're under arrest then for public order. You don't have to say
Okay.
anything that may harm
For
your defence.
filming?
Do not mention one question. Something which you later rely on in court, and anything you do say may be given in evidence. Alright? Necessity to arrest you. To ascertain your name and address. Thanks very much.
Give me your details or I'll arrest you. Here is the law they're relying on and hoping you don't know. An officer can only arrest you if there is a real offence they reasonably suspect you of, and if the arrest is necessary, for instance, to find out who you are. But read that carefully, because the order matters. You need the offence first. The power to arrest someone to get their name exists to investigate a crime. It does not exist to manufacture one. You cannot invent a public order offence out of thin air purely so that you've got a reason to arrest a man for refusing to identify himself. And that's important for you, because in this country, you generally do not have to give a police officer your name at all, unless a specific power applies. Tell me your name or I'll arrest you is only lawful if there's a genuine offence behind it. Take away the offence, and we've just seen there wasn't one, and what's left is an arrest with no lawful foundation. A court has a plain word for that: false imprisonment.
Okay guys, so you've just seen that I was arrested for public order.
However, he also stated that the arrest was necessary to obtain my name and address. Now, I'll come on to what exactly transpired after this next clip.
He's spotted it himself, and he's right. So keep that question burning as we go. What was the actual offence? Because if you can't name